Okay, so today starts out kind of early. I got up at 4 o'clock, quarter after 4 this morning, taking care of William. And Teresa went to church, and I took care of him. And then I did all my editing, took a shower, shave, do my normal morning thing. And now I am on my way up to the New Holland dealer in Washington, New Jersey for parts for the Hesston Valley. Doesn't make sense now, does it? But anyway, I broke yesterday the pin that holds the gear that turns the bill hook. They're like they're just little aluminum ones, and the bent knife arm caused the bill hook to bend, or the bent knife arm caused the shear pin or that little pin to break in the bill hook. So I straightened out the knife arm. I took another pin that I had that holds the tongue on the bill hook, that holds that in place, and I was able to slip that in there. Now it's not long enough to hold that gear in place perfectly, but because it spins pretty rapidly, it actually throws the pin to the outside of the gear, and when it does that, then it stays in place long enough to hold it. So if you're ever in a pinch and you've got one of those things, I have used welding rods before too. You take a welding rod and you smack it in a vise or something, or on an anvil. You can flatten it out and stick it in there if you're in a pinch like that. They are tougher than what the little aluminum pin is, but in a pinch, like I said, you can do a lot with it. So anyway, I broke a shear bolt last night in the stuffer. I don't know why it broke, and then I stuck a new one in, it sheared it off, and I didn't have it tight enough, and it made a little ear that I couldn't extract the bolt back out. So that kind of screwed shit up. So I had to come home. No big deal, I guess. I just had to come home, and yeah, I had to come home with it. I did not finish last night, but we got sunshine and breeze today already, so it's going to dry out rather rapidly, and from there we will, I'm going to have to get this thing fixed, and I'm going to make some adjustments. I'm going to show you some of the adjustments that I'm going to make on these knotters, because I screwed up yesterday. I adjusted the twine discs, and when I got home at night, I'm like, God, the damn thing should have corrected the problem. So when I adjusted the twine disc, I got home, I laid in bed, and I said, Wesley, you asshole, you went the wrong way. So I'm like, you dumb schmuck. So anyhow, yeah, that's a problem, and I'm going to have to address that little bit of a problem here. I got to address it when I get back to the farm. Now, hopefully Timothy gets his stuffer chamber, or that shear bolt out, and gets his stuffer chamber cleaned out, so that I can get the damn thing to back in the field yet this morning. Now, I know there was a comment already on the video that I made, and I do read the comments. I don't read them all. If you're going to be a belligerent asshole, I just skip over it. I don't need to. I choose not to read the belligerent asshole remarks, but actually so far the last few days things have been pretty good. My trolls have gotten bored and have moved on because I don't react to them. But anyhow, with that being said, yeah, there's always someone, But where was I at here? I got a freaking applied wastewater management. There's got to be a septic tank pumper. Yeah. Anyway, so the twine discs, the one disc, I turned it the wrong way, so I have to correct that problem, and I'll show you that when I get back to it, and I'll show you when I get there's a cone in the middle of the road, so we got a stop sign here. Okay, so he's running slowly. Okay, so yeah, we got tree trimmers. Now, I've been trimming trees around this thing for about a month and a half. I don't know what the hell they're taking so long for. Well, I do know why. It's been raining constantly. So anyways, with sunshine and wind, we'll be able to get back in the field. I'm going to have Timothy mowing some more. My father, he's going to be bringing some hay home. I will be probably mowing over in another town, like 30 miles away, because it has dried up enough that I can do that. So, but first I get the baler going. So anyways, see you at the deal. Okay, so I had the foresight about 2 or 3 weeks ago to buy a knife arm for this baler, because you just can never have, you know, enough of the right tools. The problem that I see with this knife arm is it's got this weird little tit on it, and I don't know why that's different, but I can't have that on there because it'll hit an oiling hose. Now, these are the pins for the bill hook. You wouldn't believe these 2 pins cost me 14 bucks. Crazy, huh? $14 for 2 little pieces of shit. I'm gonna make a bunch of them out of welding rods and put them up in the. I'm just gonna make them out of welding rods. They're cheaper to do that, and it's soft enough that it'll work. Anyway, in the middle of something, I'm not interrupted anymore. Mr. Tim has this wonderful idea that he likes to do that. Anyway, okay, so last night this knotter failed me. Obviously, it failed me, but I've got a couple of issues going on here. This grease line got behind the worm gear, which causes a major ass ache. So I'm going to have to take that off, and I'm going to have to swing it out to do so. The one thing that I noticed on this baler is that, you see where this opening is? Right there? I don't know, in the twine disc. They all look like this, okay? And this position is wrong. It is wrong on so many levels, it's not even funny how wrong that is. And each and every one of them is out of whack by quite a bit. Like I said earlier in the video, I laid in bed last night and I had turned that disc, and I thought to myself, you know, you did it wrong. You turned it the wrong way. Now, every baler that I've ever owned, the twine discs need to be advanced into the holding, the keeper. And on this baler, they have it retarded. So it is spitting it out late in the cycle of the knot. So it can't be like that. They have to be advanced. It has to be spitting it out as the knife arm comes across. If you do it the other way, that causes problems, hang-ups and things like that. Yes, it will give you a longer tail, but with more missed knots. So I don't want missed knots. I want this thing to run like a sewing machine that's brand new out of the box and never been used and just runs like a rape tape. So I'm going to be adjusting every single one of these so that they look approximately like this one. Not exactly like this one, but approximately like this one. Sometimes I've even been told that they need to be advanced into there so far that you wonder how the twine is going to fit in there. But I'm thinking that right about there is going to be where I want it. So I've got it set where I need it to be. The worm gear will turn freely here. It will turn freely. You can't see because I'm moving my hands, but I got the worm gear turning freely here, and what I'm going to do is actually pull this up and get my hose out from underneath there, because that can't be like that. Let me flip it up for you. There it is. Yes, sir. Okay. Alright, so I don't think you're going to be able to see what I'm doing. Too easy, but maybe I can get you there. I'm actually going to take this, I'm going to take this shaft or this nut off of this worm gear so I can just unwind it and get the hose out from underneath there. I don't know how it ended up in there, but it's in there. And it will just chew it away until it's gone. And yes, they are a special thread, so you really don't want to be... Oh yeah, there you go. Would you look at that? That thing is jammed up in there tight too. Yeah, it's pretty chewed off. Just the outer casing, so the inner casing's okay. Alright. Okay. So, now, with that being done, I can do this. Now I'm going to put that back down in there because, well, not quite yet. It has to be timed then. Yes, timed. I don't know if this is a metric son of a gun or what. Oh no. There it is. Get that one. Half inch or 9/16? 9/16. Somebody said in the video today, or yeah, today's video, yesterday's video, that 9/16 and half-inch wrenches always seem to throw legs and walk away when you're working on, when you put them down, which is pretty true. Okay, so that's about where that should be. I'm going to say that just to see here more, I'd be happy about that. And then I can tighten this up. If I tighten that up, then I'm going to run a test on it after I get it tightened up. See if it turns okay and settles back where it belongs. I'm going to do that to every single one of these things. Okay. Yes. I actually think it should go in a little bit more. I think it should go a little bit more. That's okay, because we can do that. I could show you on the Krone. It does the same thing. It's pretty similar. What the hell? Oh, okay. That's where that thing should be. That new knife arm on it should be good. Okay, so now that I've got my hose removed from there, you're not able to see it too well, but you see how that twine disc is actually entering into the keeper? When I get it pushed down in there, it looks like it's kind of tight in there for the twine. That's where that thing is supposed to be. At least that's where it was supposed to be on every baler I've ever owned. So hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to tighten that up just a little bit more. It doesn't take much. It doesn't really take much to tighten this up. Okay, so as you can see, this one has this extra piece on it. And I don't know, I guess I could probably just cut it off with the cutoff saw, which I think I can do pretty easily. You can see that it was catching here and it was off kilter and it just wasn't quite right. So I think it's bent back here. I don't know. All it takes is a minute little bit of a bend and that's it. So yeah, but I just took the. What we got? What's this? Huh? What's this? I got it. Okay, now it looks familiar. Looks exactly like it should. Doesn't it? You alright? Oh, you're on the phone. Who are you talking to? So this was hitting and it actually folded these little tabs over top of the bolts. And that's not good. This was hitting the bottom of the twine disc, so that's how I know the thing was bent. I'm sure if I laid it on a perfectly flat surface, I'd be able to see where the issues are, but I'm not into it that much. I don't care. I'm just going to go ahead and put her back up in there. Okay. Here's another misconception on knife arms. You do not need to tear the whole entire knotter assembly off to put that in or to take it out. It's not that difficult. All you do is you pull it up to this position here. Alright. You take this guy here and you stick it down in that slot. Alright. You get her started, like so. And boom. There you go. And now we should be in. Right? Right. And that, my friends, is that. Okay, so what I have done is I have repositioned the twine discs so that they are in the correct orientation, so when the needle comes up through and drops the twine down in there, it will, I don't know what what Joe's doing, but it should work. It should be timed correctly. At least that's the way it was on every baler that I've ever used. New Holland and Krone are that way. I don't know, Hesston I imagine would be the same, because technically these knotters are the same as the New Holland, slightly different. New Holland bought their knotter system from Hesston Agco years and years ago when they started with the 595 baler, until they decided that Agco was sending them second best knotters, and realized that they should build their own. So very similar to what those were. They are the same, and they are going to work. There were slight differences, obviously, but anyway, see you in the field. Let's see if we can get this bitch to bed.